This is EB3, speaking the truth in love, and I just come on for a few minutes to give you guys a word of encouragement. Like, subscribe, and drop a comment at the end of this video. Go ahead, push that like button, and subscribe. So this will be another video on relationships. Everybody's got to do things my way, but I do share things that worked that helped me along the way. So 4 things that helped me as I learned, because I'm gonna tell y'all, when I first got married, it was a little difficult. I'm gonna give you a little background. So first of all, my husband was quite a bit older than me. So we were in basically 2 different generations. He was raised in during the civil rights movement and all that, and I'm a latchkey kid. If you know what latchkey is, I was raised in the 70s and 80s. I graduated high school in 1991, so that tells you he graduated high school in 1972. So basically, age-wise, I just tell it like it is. He's probably old enough to be my parent, actually. But with all that being said, he had a lot more life experience because, of course, because he was older than me. He had been married before, and he was younger when he got married. So by the time I got with him, him and his first wife had been broken up for like 11 years. And so we dated for a little while, and life circumstances, I ended up moving in with him. And we moved in, and I don't recommend living with anybody first, because it doesn't make it right, and it's a sin to cohabitate and be having sex outside of marriage. I want to say that. And I will say that I wasn't necessarily raised to do that, but that is something that I did for 3 years, almost 3 years, because I was 19 and I got married at 21. We got married when I was 21. So I got married young as well. But I remember the first time, like I said, we've been together for a while, and I remember the first time we had an argument, and he said, "You my wife." And I was like, "Oh, what that's supposed to mean?" And of course, like I said, being in 2 different generations, for that first year or so, it was like bumping heads. Now, I will say that he was not abusive physically. He never touched me. He never hit me or nothing like that. Because to be honest, I am my mama's daughter, and if he would have hit me, we would not have been together. I don't believe in divorce, but I would have divorced him if he would have been physically abusive, because I just know without a shadow of a doubt, once a man hits you one time, if you don't put a stop to it, then it will continue over and over and over. He's not going to do better. Once he crossed that line, that is it. Now, do I believe in redemption? Yeah, but baby, you're going to be redeemed somewhere else, because you ain't finna be hitting me. That's not finna happen. I can deal with a lot of stuff, but physical abuse and cheating, those are my breaking points. But I'm gonna tell you something. I was young when I got with him, and like I said, he was much older than me. So the first thing I'm gonna tell you, women, is the first thing you gotta do is you've got to know what your breaking point is. You've got to know where your point is, what you're gonna take and what you're not gonna take, and you have to tell that man up front that if you do this, I'm gonna do this. And you've got to be willing to stick with it no matter how much you love him. If you hit me, I'm going to leave you. I am not going to sit here and let be your punching bag. Because ladies, yes, you can do some things to defend yourself, but for the most part, we are the weaker vessel, and you cannot beat up a man, especially if you're trying to do it without, I'll say, a fair altercation. Now, if you're going to do some other things that I would not suggest you do, then you could probably beat him. But on the average, a man's going to outweigh you. A man is probably going to be bigger than you and stronger than you. So that thinking I'm bad stuff, just put that out of the conversation. Don't hit him, and don't give him a reason to hit you by hitting him first. Okay? That's my advice. So that's the first thing to do. The second thing to do, and I know it's so hard for us sometimes. It is so hard. This second thing is just so hard sometimes based on your personality, based on your emotions, what you're going through at the time. Sometimes you just got to be quiet. I know you don't want to hear that. Sometimes you got to be quiet. Sometimes you got to be quiet and listen. And it doesn't mean that I'm not talking about the kind of quiet where you are punishing him, like the silent treatment. I'm talking about sometimes you got to let the man talk. So, and this is why I say that. If you let him talk, whether he's angry or whether he's in a good mood or whatever is going on, you will learn who he is. If you're always talking, if you're always instructing, if you're always telling him everything about you, you're telling him how to treat you by always talking, always giving him information versus you listening, you studying, paying attention and learning who you're dealing with. A lot of times people tell you who they are. A lot of times people tell you who they are within the first 5 to 10 minutes of the conversation. Your first conversation, the first 5 to 10 minutes of that conversation, they telling who they are. The problem is most women don't want to hear it. And so they replay this something in their mind because the guy is nice looking. Maybe he's got some money. He make them laugh. He make them feel good. He tell them how beautiful they are and all that good stuff. And so, but he's not telling you. You're not paying attention to when he's telling you who he is, what he believes, how he treated the last person. And eventually he's going to treat you the same way. So that's the second thing. Now, the third thing is once you are in a relationship with him, y'all have gotten married, and now you kind of know what this person is. You don't know everything because nobody knows everything about anybody. To be honest, most people keeping some kind of secret from you, right? There's most people, there are certain things about their past. There are certain things about who they are, the innermost part of who they are, that they're not vulnerable enough to let you see that side of them, right? But the third thing you can do is find the things that you love, because you love the person. There's something about them that you really love. It made you stay in that relationship weeks, for months, and now it's years, right? And now it's up to the point where you're married. So once you're married, as much as you can every day, again, listen, but every day, say something nice about him. Because this is the thing, especially if you're married to a black man, everybody in the world is telling him what he's not. Everybody in the world is telling him that his dreams are stupid, or telling him at work that, you can be faster, you can be better, this person is better than you. that person look better than you. Everybody in the world is doing that. Everybody in the world is telling him he's not a good dad. Everybody in the world is telling him he's not a good father, not a good husband. He's not husband material. When you look at what the society say about the black man, everybody in the world, and why do I say everybody? And I mean that literally. The white person, the black people, the government, the school system. If you ever listen and pay attention to what the school system is saying about black men and stuff like that, everywhere they go, the justice system, everywhere they go, somebody is putting them down simply because they're a black man. Point blank. You could be married to the man who's highly educated, right? He don't put himself through school. He worked himself through school. He put himself through school. He's paying those student debts back. He ain't over there trying to get the forgiveness. He paying his student debts back. He puts you in a nice house. Now, granted, you may be helping him because you're his backbone. I'm not taking anything from you. I just want you to see that, he's got you in a nice car. He's got a nice car. Y'all got a pretty decent life. You can go vacation. Maybe you're not going to Italy or, somewhere in Europe, but you can go on vacation once or twice a year. He take you out to dinner. He still dates you. I mean, he's just a good guy. Now, he's got some bad habits because everybody do. But for the most part, he is a good guy, right? No matter how good he is, there's somebody that's going to be saying something negative about him. Simply because he's black. There's somebody going to see him as a robber or some kind of criminal. Anything that goes wrong on the job, if he's anywhere in the vicinity, they're going to be looking at him. He's always going to be the person that if something goes wrong, he's the first person that they look at. Simply because he's black. And now, I'm not taking our experience away. I'm just saying we as their spouses, we've got to build them up because people out there are already tearing them down. So we have to build them up. We've got to tell them, find something, no matter if he can't do about 20 things that you would like for him to be able to do, that 1 or 2 things that he can do that's great, build him up to the most. I'm not saying lie to him. I'm saying build him up. The Bible says a wise wife builds her household. Listen. Teach your children to love and respect their father. And that is whether they're in the house with you or not. But especially if you and your husband is raising children together. Teach them to love and respect him. Because it's going to bless you in the long run. If you teach them to disrespect him, baby, it's going to turn back around where they're disrespecting you. So teach your children to respect their father. So that's the third thing you do. Is basically what I'm telling you is things that will build your house. The fourth thing you do is, and this is something, find something that you know is going to make him happy. Now, you can't make him just a happy person all around. But find something that you know that's going to put a smile on his face. And every now and then do it. Listen, we as wives, we are supposed to be the support. We were made from the rib, right? According to the Bible, we were made for the rib, right? We are helpmate. And we're his covering. Even though he's covering us, we're also supposed to cover him. Don't talk about him to other people. Don't talk bad about him. Now, you may have 1 or 2 friends that you can vent to about certain things, but there are certain things about him you just don't tell. The only person you tell is God. Listen, my husband been gone for almost a year. Well, actually, it's February 2024, so he's been gone over a year. But there are certain things about him I just won't ever tell anybody because I'm still going to cover him. And I would hope that if the roles were reversed, he would do the same. I can't say that he would or wouldn't. But the thing is, we have to do everything in us to build our households. And part of building our households, part of raising decent children and law-abiding children that have respect, is by us as mothers, as wives, teaching our children to love, to honor, and respect their father, no matter whether we agree with them or not. Because even though you've been married, you may have been married 50 years, there's going to be some things about that man you're not going to agree with, right? And vice versa, there's going to be some things he's not going to agree with. But at the end of the day, you got to have a united front. Love without respect and honor. Love without being united. It's not going to work. Even Jesus said, a house divided against itself can't stand. And the things that I've just talked about, those are the things that will help you be united. A lot of people talk about the finances, the cheating, all those things. But I'm going to tell you something about what I've learned about men is, and I can't speak for men because I'm a woman, but living with a man, being married to a man for 28 years and being in a relationship with that one same man for 32 years and raising 3 young sons. One is almost 20, one is almost 18, and one is almost 15. Doing that and having, like, I wasn't raised with my biological father. But my uncles and my brother, having all these men in my life, this is what I've learned. A woman's word can either build a man up or tear them down. A woman's word can either gain her honor and respect and love from a man or make him hate and despise her guts. And now just because, and I don't want to be graphic because I'm not a graphic. Well, I can be graphic, but I don't try to be nasty in anything I say. But I'm going to say this right before I leave this video. Just because a man, your husband, is still having a sexual relationship with you does not mean he still loves you and honor you and respect you. That just means that you're a warm body in the bed next to him. You want to be more than that. You want to be his confidant. You want to be his friend. And you want to be the woman that can build him up. Because I'm going to tell you, a lot of times I have a lot of male friends. And what I've learned from those male friends, because this is what I've learned from those male friends is a lot of times that man cheats on a woman. Now, some men gonna cheat. I'm gonna say that. Some people, and I say men, but some people, they just gonna do that. That's just something between them and God that's got to be dealt with. But a lot of times a man that really loves his wife, the reason why he cheats is because of something that she has said. Something that she will not say that this other woman says. That other woman tells him that he's great. Not only is he great, that he's smart, he's brilliant. That idea that he has that you think is just stupid, this other woman over here is telling him, oh, I've never thought about that. That is just, oh my God, that is just awesome. Tell me more. You know what I'm saying? You over here talking about you keeping it real, and he ain't gonna be just telling me what to do because I'm a real woman. And she over there stroking his ego, saying, I never heard it like that. You are so smart. I did not know that you were so smart. Oh God, that is just so funny. I didn't know that you just got me cracking up laughing. I just love spending time with you. Listen, if you don't make your house with the things that I told you about earlier, if you don't make your house a home for him, if you don't build your household, you will lose him in one form or another. And you can lose him and he never walk out that door. He never go to the divorce court. But you don't have his heart. Who wants to live like that? So I'm just telling you, you might not want to hear it. You might think this is old fashioned or whatever it is. But these things work. These things work. Because what happens is in a marriage, there's some phases in a marriage. And I'll talk about that in the next video. Anyway, this has been EB3, speaking the truth in love. Be blessed, be a blessing, and build your house. Be a wise woman that's learning how to build her house and not tear it down. I am out.